Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Another specimen has been sent off for testing of a virus that's sweeping the world. Also tonight, advocates speak out against the future of military involvement in the CNMI. And it's the lowest occupancy hotels have seen on our island in over 2 decades. In sports, we take it to Dan to check out the PALAU Masters League. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
My family is on whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume.
Since we installed the Docomo whole home Wi-Fi, what did you guys notice about it?
When you pull up the driveway, it automatically connects, and I don't have to get out of my car right away and come upstairs to go on my phone.
My favorite thing is that it doesn't buffer when I'm watching YouTube.
My favorite thing is that when Addie calls now, there's no lag. Like before it used to be where I couldn't see her sometimes and I have to hang up and then call her back, and now I don't have to do that.
You know what's a good thing too is that when you come over to visit, I could give you your own password. I can assign a time limit so that I can say that you can only be on it for 1 hour. So that means you won't get in trouble from your mom.
And then you can go home.
The thing that I love the most is that I can freeze the internet for periods of time so that we can enjoy dinner time like this. Why are you rolling your eyes? So I'll turn it back on after dinner.
Whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Docomo Pacific, better together.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
Hafa Day Tirawami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Friday, March 13th, 2020. The Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation has announced this afternoon that another COVID-19 specimen has been sent for testing. CHCC states this does not mean the CNMI has a confirmed case, but is taking precautionary measures to be sure. The specimen for COVID-19 testing will be sent to the Guam Public Health Laboratory. While the individual meets the surveillance case definition, the patient does not meet the COVID-19 person under investigation criteria and is suspected to be of low priority. CHCC states further updates on the situation will be provided when they become available. What was supposed to be public comments turned into a mini public hearing at a House session today. Legislation was introduced but was moved to a committee for further studies. Sally Lemus reports.
Representative Sheila Babauta has come up with a resolution that has been in the works for more than a year. It is House Joint Resolution 21-8 that requests Governor Ralph Torres to oppose any increase in military presence or training in the Marianas, including all proposed military use of the Northern Islands.
We do understand that agreements and negotiations have been made per our covenant. However, we want to just educate the community and be mindful of the impact that it'll have on our natural environment, our waters, our lands, our airspace, our people.
Babauta says she is not against the military. The resolution represents the need to secure our land.
I really want to emphasize that we are not anti-military. We are pro-Marianas. I really would like to encourage everyone to take that approach because we do support national security through our current agreements that we have with the military. We have friends and family who serve today. And so we are not anti-military. what we're trying to do is protect our CNMI.
Many concerned individuals and advocate groups such as the Northern Marianas Descent Corporation voiced out their support for the resolution.
Like the authors of the resolution, we believe that the United States Navy's continued aggression toward the Northern Marianas and her people requires a strong, unrelenting, and unified response by our elected leaders, our agents of public trust. The United States Navy's actions and intentions are not only contrary to the intent of the covenant between the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands in political union with the United States, but they are also illegal, repugnant, and pose an existential threat to our survival as a people, our dignity, our sacred cultural homeland, and our entire community.
In a separate interview with Governor Ralph Torres, he states he is a solid advocate for our lands and has been meeting with various entities to assure the protection of the Marianas.
I believe that when you see activities, it's different than hearing it or even reading about it. This resolution is, to me, is meaningless because we've been doing that. Not just myself, but CPA, our other partners, have been prioritizing our environment. Now, entertaining what military's proposal doesn't mean that, oh, we're going to go up there and just bomb Pagan. So I've been an advocate. I've been a strong supporter of protecting the Northern Islands. How many of the folks have been up there? I've been up there numerous times, and I continue to protect Pagan. That doesn't mean that we cannot sit down and listen and collaborate.
I'm Sally Lemis reporting for KSPN News.
The effects of the coronavirus are continuing to bring down occupancy rates among the 11-member hotels for HANMI. It's the lowest occupancy in recorded history for the Hotel Association of the Northern Mariana Islands.
About a week and a half ago at the chamber meeting, we had said that March was going to be around 23% and then April around 20%. Then, of course, this week, Monday, when I put together the presentation for the Department of Labor Outreach, then it was at 19.3%. Now we're looking even lower.
The HANMI organization started tracking occupancy in 1992. And this is the lowest rate ever recorded for March. Kavanaugh says even though the Marianas does not have the coronavirus, we are still being impacted by the amount of travelers, especially with the suspension of many flights.
You have Asiana that is going to be canceling one flight or suspending one flight from the 19th through the 29th. That takes out a lot of seats. And then you have April, which you have already, Jeju and Tiway have announced. We're just trying to see whether or not Asiana is going to have additional suspension of flights. If Asiana suspends, then we're at zero basically for South Korea. And that just means that all our visitors are coming in on Skymark. So as far as island-wide, the hotels, we're going to look at single digits.
Hotels have been cutting back on hours for employees, but Kavanaugh says hotels are in the planning stage of laying off employees, which is the last resort.
It's getting to that stage when you have basically, you're relying on one airline that has 177 seats, that has a load factor of probably now about 60%, then, it might get to the point where we are at the point of the possibility of laying off people. Yeah. I haven't heard positively from anyone yet, but I suspect that there are plans for layoffs. We're trying as much, we put down their hours. Even if they take leave, it's limited to a certain amount that they can take every week, not 40, but 30 hours, so that it will, last a little bit longer. And we're not cutting benefits. So they're still accruing leave as they are on leave. They still have their medical. They still have their 401k. They still have the holidays and everything. So that's not been touched yet. And we hope, that it isn't touched. But we need to, as long as possible, keep our workers here.
The occupancy rates are projected to continue declining for the rest of March and April due to the flight cancellations. Rules and regulations have been adopted by the CNMI Cannabis Commission, and today, Governor Torres has put his signature to the documents. Ink pressed to paper this morning up on Capitol Hill as Governor Torres has signed the emergency rules and regulations for the CNMI Cannabis Commission.
Today's a great day for all of us. It's one of those days of moving forward, and I really want to congratulate the board and executive director for promulgating the rules and regulation. Received this March 10, which made their 180 days from the regulation or the law that they need to promulgate rules and regulation.
The emergency regulations enables the commission to begin accepting applications for licenses immediately. And once the 120 days is up, the permanent set of rules and regulations will go into effect after review of public comment by the board.
The emergency regulations take into effect for 120 days, and then the regular regulations go through the normal process. And so I believe the comment period is for 30 days. Once that's done, then we go back and move it for publication into the register if we don't amend anything.
But one question many have in mind is,
everybody's asking what is the next process for our community or the business partners or whoever that wants to do. What are the kind of permits and when, where and when can it be available?
Okay, so we are currently working in the background for the applications themselves for the commercial licensees applications, because there are different types of applications. So depending on which application you apply for, that application package will be made available to you. Also with that, we're looking to secure an office.
Okay.
So that in conjunction with us working on a website.
The Cannabis Commission estimates around 30 days to have an office set up for those interested in obtaining a license.
Yes.
So for everybody, within 30 days, there's going to be a license, an office where you can go and purchase or at least inquire and apply. Okay.
And, well, for the commercial, there's different licenses. So there's the wholesaling, there's the producer, micro producer, lounges, class 1 and 2, processor, retail. Yeah, and all of those will be available once our office is up and running.
And once businesses are open for shop with their license to sell cannabis, Governor feels it will be a boost to our economy.
What we're seeing today is we've never seen anything like it, right? So I hope that it gives us the time to promulgate and make things ready, and when our tourism industries start to travel here, then that will be ready for them.
Yes.
So I look forward to it, and I'm very hopeful that with the interest that we have coming and with the support of the board and the executive, I think that just definitely going to bring a new light into our economy.
Many concerned teachers, students, and parents voiced out their reaction about the 4-day school schedule at the Special Board of Education meeting. Sally Lemus reports.
The Board of Education unanimously voted to approve a 4-day school schedule that will begin on the first week of April. Many are not pleased.
Do you know how many teachers here work after school programs so that they can reach those students who don't get the help at home? Do you know how many kids in here go to school because they want teachers to hug them and love them because they don't get it at home? Do you know how many kids who have become engineers, kids who have become teachers, kids who have become doctors, become who they are because of all these beautiful people here?
The 4-day school week is part of the austerity measures. PSS employees will only work 64 hours bi-weekly.
If we limit them every Friday again, it's not all schools are back to their normal schedules, right? You limit them, you're taking away their education. So in the future, if we have COVID 50 something years, because right now it's COVID-19, right? How are those kids gonna be able to find a cure again? If we limit their education, can you answer that? So instead of bowing down to the governor, let's all stand together
According to PSS legal counsel Tiberius Mocano, the cuts are necessary.
These cuts are the board's effort not to shut down the schools. The other thing that needs to be kept in mind is these cuts are being made against the reality of the way the budget and the allotments from the central government are currently. Just a few moments ago, you heard the board authorize the injunction, which will be filed tomorrow morning. It's already been signed by the Commissioner of Education. These cuts and the injunction, which pursues additional funding for PSS, are working in tandem. It's not one or the other. The cuts need to occur in order to deal with the reality of today. The injunction seeks to get more funding so that these cuts maybe will be rescinded and the PSS can move forward as it had planned to.
BOE member Philip Mendiola Long made a motion to direct the commissioner to immediately file the lawsuit against the CNMI government in regards to the inaccurate allotments being made to PSS for fiscal year 2020 in violation of the CNMI Constitution. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Sally Lemis.
Coming up, it's election year and an event is going on this weekend to get supporters. Find out more after the break.
Mom, are you sure? What about the shutters? And do you have your medicine?
Don't worry about us, love, okay? You take good care of yourself. I'm in love. Yeah, sorry. The power went out, so I had to light up all the candles. Yeah. Yes, baby, yeah. I'm just glad our home phone's working and we're able to contact you.
Double Filet-O-Fish sandwich for double the flavor, just in time for Lent, for limited time, served after 10:30 a.m.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Election year has kicked off and the caucus for Bernie Sanders is occurring on Saipan this weekend. Take a listen.
Well, I'm here in Saipan because this Saturday is the Democratic Caucus. It's being held at the World Resort. Doors open at 5 and the event begins at 6. And it's really important that every single Democratic competition our campaign takes part in. And I'm honored to be here on the island and working with the local community to try to get as many people out to the caucus to make sure that they cast their vote for the President of the United States.
Not many people showed for the last caucus in 2016, and Jackson hopes more will show up for this election.
This Saturday, you're actually the only competition for the Democrats that have during the primary process, and you have 6 delegates that are up for grabs. And in 2016, which was your first year for the caucus process, not a lot of people came out, and I was really hopeful that this time we can get as many people involved. And I think that this campaign is about bringing people together. This campaign its motto is "Not Me, Us." And we live our values in this campaign. We provide our employees with health care. We make sure that people are treated with respect, and we make sure that everyone is included in the campaign. And that goes for the primary process as well.
But why is the caucus important for Saipan?
And that's a question I'm getting a lot, and I think it's a good question because a lot of people first off don't know about the caucus, and they don't understand that how can they vote in a caucus and not the general election as well. Saturday's election is a Democratic Party function, and the party wants everyone's voices to be heard, and the delegates that are selected from that meeting will then actually go on to the Milwaukee Convention and cast their vote on the floor of the convention hall in Milwaukee in the summer. The reason that, I am here and that this campaign is specifically on Saipan is because Senator Sanders and our campaign really believes that this is part of the U.S. You have chosen back, many years ago to be part of the U.S., and therefore you should be recognized as such. He's worked with your congressman in Congress to make sure that for the federal programs, be it the food stamps program, be it Medicaid, be it a number of other things, be it aid for U2 and different things, that you've received help. And under Sanders' administration, he would make sure that you have, you're on parity, you have everything that you should, all the federal programs apply to you.
The caucus is taking place this Saturday at the World Resort. Doors open at 5 and the event begins at 6 p.m.
Your voice needs to be heard, and that's why I'm very excited that Saturday is an opportunity for the voices to be heard and to have a say in the process. Because right now, it's a very, very close race, and every vote matters.
Stay tuned tonight after the news for our segment of Vintage News. This time, we're taken all the way back to June 18th, 1993. The future of Rhoda's tourism is in the hands of S&M Corporation, who will be constructing a golf course, but are mixed up in a land dispute with 3 families. And Club Med ship brings 200 tourists to the island. That is a big help for the struggling economy. Coming up in the KSPN2 Sports Report, we got some fun on the run this weekend at the Saipan Marathon. Find out more after the break.
Hey, we know that in life it happens. And when it does, Dial Rent Own is here to help. Come down and get a new phone today. It's easy. It's quick. We've got Apple and Samsung phones in stock and ready to go. Flush your worries away and come to Dial Rent Own. No credit needed. And ask about how you can save 50% when you pay cash. Dial Rent Own.
Welcome to the Marianas Eye Institute. Our office on Beach Road is staffed with U.S. certified eye care technicians, doctors that have received national recognition, and a friendly, professional staff that will look after you and your loved ones. With over 1,200 eyeglass frames to choose from and an in-house lab, we can make most glasses in about an hour. And we even feature a mobile clinic to bring eye care to you. Keep your eyes healthy and strong with professional eye care at the Marianas Eye Institute.
Flame Tree TV proudly presents the 2020 Northern Marianas Sports Association Awards Banquet. Special airings Monday, March the 9th, Wednesday, March 11th, and Friday, March the 13th, starting at 8:30 p.m. Only on KSPN2. Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans, Saturday is a big day for local sports, all day with 2 major events. The fun starts at 4:30 at American Memorial Park with the Saipan Marathon 2020. More than 700 runners registered and are expected to be out on the course all the way up to 11 a.m. Motorists are asked to be extra courteous, follow police instructions, and yield to those competitors. Based on the recommendation of Little League headquarters, the Saipan Little League baseball opening that had been scheduled for Saturday is postponed until at least April 6th. Little League is following measures taken by other sports leagues in the United States. Well, Sunday afternoons, Bob drives to Dandan to see the Palau Masters League.
Fresh trade winds whipped the orange plastic fence into a frenzy. A rare strikeout and an even rare slow pitch shutout. The Mana Amigos John Regis earning the distinction of a mountain ball whitewash. 10-0 over the IPI Masters. Audie Maritina, he's the league's best dresser. He's also one of the hardest hitters. Jude Dickinson, there's a line drive over that left field plastic fence, a ding-donger.
A 3-run shot for Jude.
Here's an improbable hit, a pop-up that lands in front of the shortstop and behind the pitcher. Asahi was giving it away. Albert Camacho, the toss, and there's a life-saving preservation catch. He saw his life flash before his eyes. The next inning, guess who's up first? June, and he bats a well-placed hit to right. That's a triple. It did take him 15 seconds to go from home to third. It's not a record.
Who made him stop? Who made him stop?
June and those guys, they're simply too good for Asadi to handle.
We have our first sports casualty due to austerity. The girls' high school fast pitch softball season was supposed to start tomorrow. However, due to a lack of funding, it will not. Athletic Director Nick Gross says he is waiting for more secured funds before launching the league and hopes to offer it later this school year. In the meantime, attorney Robert Torres and his brother Joe have offered the girls use of their batting cage on weekends. Friday night does not start until after we show the top plays of the week. So what are we waiting for? Well, we are not waiting.
Coming in at number 4, you just saw it, Albert Camacho with this life-saving snag. Coming in at number 3, Douglas Schmidt scores a game-high 24 points, lifting the Blue Eagles to the UFO Basketball Championship. Coming in at number 2, Marianas, Cagman, and Saipan Southern High School fishing clubs attract 51 votes to the first Wahoo tournament. And the KSPN2 Sports Top Play of the Week. Well, these runners got off to a rather rough start, but they got up and finished the Triple J 5K Color Bubble Run Top Play of the Week.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
So what are you going to do this year? At Gold's, a dedicated fitness studio with a cushioned floor is perfect for group exercise. The cardio room features a variety of treadmills, bikes, steppers, and ellipticals. Fitness machines will help you achieve your goals, and the largest free weight area on Saipan gives you comfortable space to work out. Gold's Gym team is ready to help you get to your goals. Try harder. We know you can do it.
And here is your weather report. We had a high of 89, a low of 78, 72% humidity. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, east winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, 85 high, 77 low, seas 5 to 7 feet, sunrise 6:25 a.m., high tide 11:03 a.m., low tide 4:54 p.m., and sunset at 6:27 p.m. And we want to say thank you for tuning in to tonight's show. Have a great rest of your weekend. Catch you back here Monday.